Hey guys, and welcome to Petrol Ped, and welcome to this week's Midweek 180. Now I am sat in a BMW iX M60, an absolutely stunning car on the inside, controversial looks on the outside, but this all-electric, super luxurious SUV is going to be used this week for a video I've wanted to make for a very long time. Every time I review an EV, someone in the comments will say, but what about if you want to tow a caravan? Well, this week, that's what I've got this car for, because it's one of the few all-electric press cars in the UK that has a tow bar fitted. So we'll be putting that to the test this week. Video probably coming to the channel next week, but I'm very excited about that. But anyway, on to this video. If you've not seen one of these before, this is my midweek update where I bring you my news, views and information about upcoming reviews, all filmed in one take. I'm going to put 180 seconds in the bottom right hand corner of your screen, and that's it. A very simple format. So without further ado, let's get cracking with this week's Midweek 180. I shall start my timer. Now then, last week's leader of the pack was Mark, just Mark, also known as Mark C, joined in the Magnificent Seven by Rod Matheson, Paul Mead, Kevin, DG7, Leanne Jackson, Stephen Spink and Gary Matthews. So whoever puts the first comment this week, you'll be my leader of the pack next week, and the first 7 comments will be my Magnificent Seven. Where are you and what you're doing? That was Marcus Ian Cox, who was watching the Midweek 180 on the train home to the Norfolk coast, having spent some time in London. I'm just impressed you got coverage on the train, to be honest. But wherever you are right now and whatever you're doing, put it in the comments below, and I'll give you a shout out next week. Last week's question was, how are the potholes in your area? It's safe to say, really bad everywhere. I was like, it's really not good at all. There's some proper wheel killers around my way at the moment. Now, this week's question, this is spurred on by my mate Nick Williams, is after basically people to suggest movie cars that he can do some work with. I wanted to know what your favourite movie car of all time was. Now, I've got quite a few, but I think right up there from my childhood is the Lotus Esprit from the Spy Who Loved Me James Bond film, the one that could drive underwater. I had the model as a kid. I've always loved that car. But I'd love to know what your movie cars or favourite movie cars are. And more F1 car reveals since last week. We've seen Williams. Then yesterday we saw the McLaren, which was one I'm really looking forward to. They all look very similar to last year's cars, but the livery on the McLaren I think looks really, really cool. I'm very excited to see how Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris get on. And then also Aston Martin revealed yesterday, and I just want Alonso to kind of finally have a bit of a quick car and see if he can get that magic 33rd win. There are still a few more. I think I'm filming this on Tuesday, and Ferrari released their new livery on Tuesday. New car news. I actually nearly talked about this last week, but didn't have time. There's been more spy shots of the all-electric Porsche Boxster testing at the Nordschleife. The pictures, it looks pretty ropey. It's a proper test mule. It's even got different wheels on the front and the back. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what the all-electric fleet looks like from Porsche. The Taycan is such a good car. To see what all-electric Cayman and Boxster will be like, and also all-electric Macan, I think it's going to be exciting times for electric Porsches, that's for sure. And then I also wanted to just say, I've had so many people DM me or email me to say that Charlie Clubman is up for sale on Auto Trader. I know. She's been up for sale for quite a long time, actually, on eBay and Auto Trader. I'm not interested in buying her back. All I would say is the advert in Auto Trader isn't particularly accurate in terms of what happened. It says something like a fuel supply issue. Well, if that's also known as the sump was smashed, all the oil came out of the engine, possible gearbox damage and massive underbody damage, yeah, right, I'm not going to be buying her back. And then... ran out of time, but what I was going to talk about next was the towing video for the iX, which I've already talked about at the beginning because I got my order the wrong way around. So the iX, I put some pictures of it on Instagram and it got delivered yesterday. It's safe to say it's had a mixed reaction. These cars, they might not be everyone's cup of tea from the styling on the outside. This interior colour is pretty out there. It's Bordeaux, by the way. It's like a sort of cross between Bordeaux and chocolate brown. It's actually quite nice. It doesn't come out on camera at all. But these things are so luxurious inside. But apparently this can tow up to 2.5 tons braked laden weight. So I'm going to be towing a caravan in it this week. And then I just wanted to say also, Next week, I'm actually away on a holiday skiing next week in the Alps. So I probably won't do a midweek 180 next week. I have got videos for the Monday and the Friday. So there's a video on the Mustang Mach-E on the Monday, and then next Friday will be the towing video for this. And then this coming Friday's video at 6 is my goodbye to the Audi R8. I spent all last week with the Audi R8 V10 Performance Rear-Wheel Drive Edition, and I've tried to mix up the format of the video a little bit. It was quite a complex thing to stitch together, but you'll see what I mean when you watch it. So my video on Friday is the R8. Now that's it. I'm massively over time. I've got so many things to do today or this week. I'm so busy trying to get everything filmed. I've got 4 videos to film this week and 4 videos to edit this week, all before Saturday, before we go on holiday, so I can just concentrate on being on holiday and skiing and maybe having a couple of beers. I don't really want to be taking my laptop with me, but I'm sure I will probably end up doing that. But I am going to close this video. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, give me a thumbs up. Comments below are always welcome. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to Petrol Ped for plenty more content to come. Honestly, I've got some really, really big things happening once we come back from skiing. I've got a fantastic trip the weekend or the week after I get back from skiing, doing something utterly cool. I'll tell you more about that. I might be driving a flying car or flying a driving car. No, flying and driving a flying car. That's the one. And then I've got the biggest announcement I've ever had on Petrol Ped by the end of the month. But I'm not going to say anything about that because it's still a bit under wraps and a bit hush-hush. But I'll see you on the next film. This Friday, 6 o'clock, for my last hurrah and goodbye to the Audi R8 V10 Performance Rear-Wheel Drive Edition, starring Mrs. Petrol Ped and the pups. I'll see you on that film. You take care, guys. Drive safe.